Three dudes riding a friggin' whale.
I'm Scott.
I'm Dan.
I'm Rowan, and we talk about some crazy fucking shit.
It's gonna get mental up in here.
It's always controversial.
But we're not trying to offend anyone.
Please don't cry.
It's not serious.
Huzzah! Hey Scott, do you want to open up with cinema?
Say hello to my little friend. My name is Bola. We're sending you back to the future.
Grab your popcorn from the lobby, shut the kids up, and welcome to the cinema.
Okay, this is the cinema section, and I have a story that I just wanted to tell. So it's loosely based around the cinema, okay?
That's kind of cheating the topic, though, yeah.
Well, why don't you cheat your own fucking mouth and shut up for a second? Okay, here's how I met a friend of mine named Shanks, Rowan.
This is not a movie.
No, wait.
Oh, hang on, it could be made into a movie, though.
Well, yes, I didn't think of that angle, but okay. Anyway, so one day I'm at uni, right? And I'm leaving uni, and it's about 11 o'clock in the morning, and across the road on the intersection, there's a guy dressed as a Death Eater from Harry Potter, which is a fucking movie, Rowan, if you remember correctly.
Where's the cinema?
And that's a movie it played at a cinema, mother effer. What do you want, Daniel?
Can we cast Simon Pegg as you in this movie, and like Daniel Radcliffe as like Harry Potter?
Dan,
Is
he's
that how
got
this
a
is working?
completely different colour hair, man.
I'm trying
yeah,
to
it'll
tell
work.
the story about Shanks. Okay, now, Harry Potter, which is quite a successful franchise you might have heard of. What?
Is there a girl in the story?
You, at the moment.
There's got to be a love story, otherwise it doesn't work.
Yeah, I didn't meet Shanks at the same time as you either.
Okay, no, I know, that's why I'm fucking trying to tell you this shit. Are you asking about
All
women?
the people listening, though, wouldn't have met him either.
No.
So
No,
that
they're
doesn't
probably
matter.
pissing their pants in anger because I haven't started yet, alright?
Get on with this story. You're
I
taking
went
so
out
long.
the fucking door, okay? Across the road, there's a guy in a Death Eater costume with a sign that says, I love pokies, right? And he's out the front of a hotel, like a bar. Like, by himself. No one's filming him or nothing. You can't see any of his body because he's covered in this costume. And he's dancing, like shaking the sign. He's running up to the window where people are having their dinner and or their lunch and just like smacking on the window and scaring them. I'm like, that's interesting. And I just happened to have a video camera in my pocket. Little handycam. I was like, I'm gonna film it.
Hang
And
on,
I
so
just
this
stood
could be
there.
like Cloverfield style as well.
I just stood there filming it, right? And it happened for a while, and a security guard came to talk to him, and he was like, okay, and he did the old thing where he's like, what's over there? And the security guard turned around, and he like sprinted to the other side of the road and just kept dancing around. I was like, I'm going over there and seeing what the hell he's up to. I didn't know this guy, and I went over and I shoved the camera in his face. I'm like, hey, what are you doing there? And he's like, and the mask he was wearing had a voice changer in it as well. So I couldn't tell if it was a boy or a girl at the time. I couldn't see it. And it was like, I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm a Death Eater and I'm evil. So I'm saying I love pokies, right? It's kind of like an ironic thing, like I'm protesting against pokies by dressing as someone evil and saying that I love pokies.
like a double negative.
Yeah, Daniel's following.
Yeah.
Rowan, you know where I'm
You
at
know,
at the moment?
at this point, I just don't understand your course of action. Like, I probably
Go
would've-
to the Death Eater.
I would have reached immediately for my gun if I had a gun on me in public, which I don't because it's Australia. But
Well,
if I had a gun,
It hasn't gotten good yet, right?
do you get a gun?
Of friendship.
This is not going to. This is not going to be an action movie.
Okay.
It's going to
alright.
be a
I
thriller
go
at
over
a
there,
stretch.
and he's like, blah, 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 I'm doing this. I'm like, yeah, I get it. He's like, I'm glad you get it, and his voice was like, blah, 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 like robotic, because he had a voice changer in the mask. And so I didn't even know if it was a girl or boy. He's like, I'm glad you get it. I was like, yeah, I get it. It's sick. And I was like, keep it up. And he's like, oh, I'm hot in the costume, blah, blah, blah. And then I decided to walk off. And then I was like, actually, what am I doing? I'm just going home. F that. I'm going to stay here and because I lived at the moment about 200 meters from where this was happening. I was like, screw it. I'll just hang around to film it more. Anyway, I was filming it and the Death Eater's doing it. And then he walked down the road and I kind of subtly, I was on the other side of the road. I didn't think he knew I was filming him, right? And I'm walking along and he sits at a bus stop. And then, you know, in movies, right? This is coming back to cinema,
Yeah,
Rowan.
yeah.
You'll be happy with this. When there's a scary character across the road and the person sees them and a bus goes past and they're gone.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, I was imagining it. That happened.
He just got on the bus.
No, he didn't. No, I was fucking there. He didn't. Okay, he standing there and I'm filming it. So I've got film of it. I can show you this. And the bus went past and he's gone. I'm like, what the? And I was looking around, and I turned to a couple who were eating lunch out there in the front of a cafe, and I thought they were looking at us too, and I was like, he just disappeared. But they didn't know they wasn't looking at him, so they're like, what? Don't worry. And I was like, okay. And then I could see next to where the bench was that he disappeared from, there was like, the sign was like moved behind a fence moving along. I could see a sign like popping. I was like, he just went by there. So I went over and I was trying to look, and then he ran out into the middle of the road and did the Gandalf, you shall not pass thing in front of a bus, just stopped the bus in the middle of the road. I was like, what is he doing? And then he sprinted away. I was like, oh, and I ran around the whole shopping centre, right, and caught up with him. Okay. Are you following, Rowan?
This is a weird question. You introduced me to this man. Should I be scared?
No way. It gets better than this. And I met him, talked to him, hung out with him for about an hour. He never took his mask off. Yeah. I still hadn't seen his face or body or heard his voice. And then I was like, this guy's nuts. And we started talking. Like, he liked all the shit I liked. And I was like, here's my YouTube channel and stuff. Like, email me and stuff. And I was like, yeah. And I got an email that night. And he's like, hey, let's meet up. I live right near you, I found out. I was like, what? This is even better. And, okay, while he was in the costume, he said, can you see my skin, right? And I said, no. And he said, you can't see any yellow. And I said, no, why? And he's like, oh, I'm Asian. And I was like, oh, okay then, that's interesting. Anyway, the next day he's like, let's meet up. And I was like, okay, I'll take my friend Reese because he's might be a murderer. Okay. And so he's like, meet out the front of Woolworths, which is near both of our houses. So me and Reese are sitting out the front of Woolworth. And he's like, meet you out the front. We got there, and it was the time that we said we'd meet. And there was only one Asian person, and it was a man about 50 or so, smoking a cigarette, right? And me and Reese are just looking at him like, it's got to be him. I don't think it's him, but there's no other Asians. There's not hardly anyone else around at all, right? And so we're like, okay. And then I got a message saying, come and say hi, I'm having a smoke. And I was like, it's definitely him. And then I got up and I was like, hang on. We were watching him that whole time. He never texted. He never got a phone out to text. So how's he done that? And then we looked around, and then we see the actual Shanks, who's Indian, hiding behind a bush. Just like, oh, I tricked you. And then now we're friends.
You're such an idiot!
Idiot! What you think you're doing, you stupid idiot?
Do you like it when dudes get smashed in their nutsack with balls? Well, get ready, because we're going to talk about idiots.
So, idiots of the week. This time I have to do idiots of the week, and I'll tell you what, didn't do my homework. Did not have a think about this at all. And so...
No, really?
Hey, Rowan.
Yeah.
That's pretty idiotic of you.
No, shut up. Shut up, we're not
He's
doing
right,
that.
you are an idiot.
No, I've had a quick look on the internet, I'll have you know, and I have
They
elected...
have that?
Yeah, no, the internet's a thing.
Oh, didn't know that.
Damn, idiot of the week.
I read about that. I wasn't sure if they got it going.
in the 70s.
This is so off track. We're not even on topic yet. Idiot of the week is the iPhone 5.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I want to say that you're an idiot of the week by assuming that
This
an
is not-
item
this is not
is an idiot.
I don't like Dan anymore. We're going to have a falling out in this section. That's what this section's about. Idiots of the week.
What's wrong? Why you hate the iPhone 5?
Well, I just don't like it because it's long. It's longer than, like...
Okay.
It's
That
longer-
could
it's
be
longer than
a
its
deeper
predecessor.
psychological problem than hating phones.
In what?
How's your relationship with older men when you're a kid?
In what relation are you saying that it's long? Because, like, if you... Okay, compared to,
Its length,
say...
I think he
No,
means.
no, I understand that. But, like, if you compare the new one to, like, the old one, it's a little bit longer, okay? Hang on, hear me out, all right? You compare it to an ant, it is well longer. Compare it to a train, and it is way shorter.
But that seems to be that, like... I mean, that's exactly what everyone on Apple's going on about, like, Apple
It's
fanboys.
smaller than a train.
No.
I hope it is.
pretty
I have
small.
not listened
Put
to
it next
Dan,
to a
I'll
fucking
be honest.
tree and you'll bloody be surprised.
Yeah, but you also
Has
say
Ford-
it's... You say it's
See, that's
longer. To me, longer will be width, not height.
Look at it
Like,
this
to
way.
me,
Dan.
it's
I
taller.
don't think you understand length
Taller?
and width.
Look at it this way. Going on Apple's train of
no,
mind...
What about depth?
stop,
Are we
stop,
talking
stop,
about
stop.
depth here, or-
Remember when Dan said to me, longer is width? What are you talking about? Width is width.
Yeah, but what is length when you're talking about a phone then?
Its base to top is length.
It's length. What about how tall it is?
That's length. From base, which is bottom, to top. That's tall.
What
that's
if
length.
it's lying down flat?
That's its depth. That's its width.
You know, we started off with a train of... We didn't start off with a train of thought.
I've given you your idiot for the week.
Yeah, we're all just saying...
If you turn a square upside down, it's a square still.
No, it's a rectangle, man. Are you crazy?
I'm so confused.
You know,
something.
It's an ironic section, this, because we're all just saying dumbass shit. Like we've got the authority to elect an idiot of the week.
Yeah, we've gone for phones. Because math is hard.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Finding something new, working something out, discovering.
Okay, I've got Discovery this week, and I've discovered, you guys are going to think I'm a massive idiot, right, but I discovered that tasers, right, and stun guns can actually kill human beings that are healthy. Now, let me, because you guys are going to go off about this. I assumed, like, when all the newspaper articles and stuff talked about tasers and that killing, I assumed it was like people with pacemakers and like had like 50-year-old guys who had like weak hearts and stuff
Who were
That's
doing
what I
hell bad
assumed.
crimes.
Yeah. Well, you've seen like the criminals, the old man criminals that are like, "Oh, Sonny, can you help me? Fucking give me your money. Give me all your money."
I thought they just reached for the
No, I
dong.
have not.
That's what old men do.
You made it sound like I've been robbed or something by one of them.
I don't know. Maybe you have. There's a lot of them out there. But so I wasn't aware of this, and it got brought to light.
How did it get brought to light, Dad?
Did you get
explain.
shot by a taser?
Well, no, I didn't get shot by a taser. We saw a movie called Bait. Have you heard of that, Rowan?
Is it a movie where it's just like the entire 2 hours is them trying to like feed a worm onto a hook?
Kinda.
Better.
Yeah, that's
If you
kind
can
of like the
imagine.
plot.
Really?
It's an Aussie film, and it's pretty much summed up by sharks in a shop.
Yeah, there's a tidal wave and it traps people in, and there's a flood in the shop, but also sharks got washed in the tidal wave, so they're trapped in the shop. If that's not bad enough, also sharks are trapped in the shop.
You know, that
Yeah.
sounds eerily like tackle, like bait, because all the worms are in a can.
That's what
Yeah,
that's
no,
why when you
this is-
said bait hooking. That's
Aren't we
kinda,
all
yeah.
just bait on Earth?
Oh, that's pretty
So
deep.
at
Man.
the
Fuck,
end,
that should have been the tagline.
at the end of the
So in this movie, spoiler alert for anyone who's going to go and see this.
There's a shark.
Yeah, there's a shark, and at some point it gets tased, right? And yeah, okay.
That sounds funny out of context.
Should be, yeah, no, but you should go see the film just for that.
A shark
right?
gets tased.
Right, and me and Scott were talking about how like a taser couldn't kill a shark, surely. Like they're for, what, half a ton or something? I don't know.
And I said,
Like,
yeah,
it was a
probably
huge
couldn't.
shark.
I agree with you there.
Right,
But
yeah.
then you said,
Right, and then I said like it barely is able to kill like human beings, and at that point you argued.
and Shanks, who was there.
Yeah, Shanks was also there. They argued the fact that humans do die from it. I was like, no way. Like, not healthy people. Like maybe people who are like, oh, I've got a weak heart. I'm really, really
We were talking
old."
about it for bloody ages. And basically it was like, yes, they can. No, they can't. And then we looked on the internet, and there's a list of about a fucking billion people who did. And it's just like, they had arrhythmias and they were perfectly healthy, and they got tased like 7 times and they're dead. And it's like,
seven
see?
times.
Yeah,
Who
that-
tasers someone 7
Well,
times?
it's just like sometimes you die from tasers because it's electricity in your heart, pretty much.
No.
But-
You said 7 times, like, oh man, tase him, and then 7 cops just all tased
At
them.
once by
Yeah.
accident. Like, oh, I thought you were
What?
going. Whoa.
I exactly grabbed 7. I thought they all joined. I thought it was like a Megatron deal. You just need one of these. I thought this was the leg.
Also, like the automatic. Have you seen the automatic defibrillators? The ones
Yeah.
that you just put the pads on. They just
Do it
give.
themselves.
Yeah, right.
Just like
Right.
James Bond.
Yeah, right. That's all. What?
Yeah, you remember he has them in the back of his car and like applies them to his
Yeah.
chest.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Pretty
Yeah.
good.
So it's like the electricity, right? So technically, if you tase someone once and it kills them, right, you should be able to tase them again and brings them back to life, yeah?
You know, that's essentially what they did when they discovered electricity. Funnily enough, they're not tasing, but the guy's like, oh, look, I electrocuted this bird.
Defibrillators
Like, you
are
have
for
to-
respiratory problems, not he's been electrified to death. Put more in him.
Yeah,
It's hard to fucking burn out.
Don't do it an odd amount of times. Do it an even amount. You'll live then.
It's like 8.
Thanks, doctor. Shock him 8, he'll be great. Shock him 7, he's going to heaven. I just fucking made that up. I just
brilliant.
freestyled that. That was funny. Oh man, that was really good.
The fuck did I just listen to?
3 dudes riding a friggin' whale.
Thank you for listening.